The number of migrants attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border is at the highest level since just 2 years ago in March of 2019. And tonight, Texas Governor Greg Abbott says the recent surge has resulted in a scramble by federal officials to find housing for so many unaccompanied children. NewsNation's Marky Martin is live tonight near the Dallas Convention Center, which is getting ready to house up to 3,000 migrant teenagers. Marky.
Yeah, Rob, we are watching and waiting, but at 8:30 Central Time here in Texas, still no sign of the migrant teen boys here at the convention center, although they are still scheduled to arrive sometime this evening. And as you mentioned, it's about 3,000 unaccompanied children who are about to call this convention center home, a temporary home for the next 90 days or so. But details surrounding their arrival and their time here in Texas are being kept pretty close to the chest. Just hours before the expected arrival of thousands of migrant teens to downtown Dallas, Governor Greg Abbott addressing the surge in the very building they're about to call home.
The Biden administration opened the floodgates, and I know from what's going on the ground, they are completely ill-prepared for this.
The Texas governor not mincing words in his disapproval, calling shelters like this one a direct result of President Biden's reckless open border policies.
The Biden administration must also answer for enticing unaccompanied minors into inhumane conditions that expose these children to traffickers, to abuse, and to terror.
But just outside this conference room, not everyone echoed the governor's message.
Number one, I'm ashamed of our governor. Number two, we welcome the children.
Rene Martinez is the president of the League of United Latin American Citizens. He says the kids have been subjected to horror and need a safe place to be evaluated educationally, psychologically, and physically.
These are children. They're seeking asylum. We're the country of hope, not fear.
Under the Biden administration, today's Dallas arrival and immigration facilities in general have been shrouded in secrecy. Unlike previous years, press teams are not allowed inside. No ride-alongs with Border Patrol agents to help share stories. And today, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki peppered with questions regarding access.
I mean, our reporters used to be able to get ride-alongs during the Trump administration, and you all came in and promised to be the most truthful and transparent administration, and you all, oversee the Department of Homeland Security. So if you all wanted to grant access to the press, couldn't you just tell DHS to do it?
Again, we fully support transparency, and I would encourage you to talk to the Department of Homeland Security about any requests you have.
We spoke with Border Report correspondent Julian Resendez in El Paso, who has covered the border for 2 decades.
Right now, we're in the early stages of forging a new relationship with the new administration.
He says Border Patrol agents have been guarded in what they share with reporters after Biden took office. And since he is bilingual and multicultural, if he can't get information in the U.S.
I have a particular advantage, and that is that when I cover the border, I cover both sides of the border. So sometimes I can't get access in El Paso. I go to Mexico, and I get a lot of information from Mexico.
And also in attendance on today's press conference panel was an attorney who said that these children are in a perfect storm of vulnerability. And she did confirm there will be caseworkers here on site to offer trauma-informed care and crisis intervention to the children who have been assaulted and some of them sex trafficked along the way. Reporting live in Dallas tonight, Marky Martin, NewsNation.
Marky, thank you. And this issue also drawing attention to the U.S. cities near the border. McAllen, Texas is one of the largest cities in the Rio Grande Valley, about 10 miles from the U.S.-Mexico line. Earlier today, I spoke with the mayor of McAllen, Jim Darling. He has served as mayor for the past 8 years and says he is nonpartisan.
Mayor, officials in El Paso say the influx of unescorted migrant children and families there are straining Border Patrol capacity. The Border Patrol chief, in fact, has said that their priority is to process and then expel migrants flown to El Paso from South Texas. Can you give us an idea of the situation happening right now in McAllen?
Well, actually, yeah, I might point this out, even though like Laredo and El Paso and Brownsville, right on the river. We're about 6 miles from the river, so we have facilities down there, but our main city is about 6 miles from the river. So when you say, we're there, but we're not quite there physically. But yeah, the Border Patrol is under tremendous pressure to process people. They're taken away from the primary job they do. I always said, this is our third, I've been mayor for 3 of these now, and they need social worker help. They don't need more Border Patrol people. They always could use more Border Patrol, but what's keeping them from their job is just processing people, and everybody's going here and say, I'm here, take me into custody. And so that's not their normal way of doing things, and I feel very sadly for them. It's a tough job they're doing, and it's not one they're actually trained to do and would want to do. There's still important Border Patrol work to be done.
What is the situation right now in your city? What are the challenges?
One of the things why I got on the radio is I saw something, one of the TV shows today for a half hour talked about everything going to the border. It had McAllen, Texas as the top thing over there. And, we partner up with Catholic Charities way back when in 2014. And so we're handling things. Sometimes we get a little more numbers than are comfortable, but sometimes we get COVID cases that we have to deal with. But I like to say, our city is handling it. We're not in a crisis by any stretch of the imagination.
Mayor, a report came across my desk today involving you a couple of weeks ago, last month, in fact. You and city leaders were working to get migrants on flights out of your area, in part because you were seeing some pressure on city services. What's the status of those efforts and what prompted it?
Yeah, some of the people apparently have money to fly. Of course, it costs a lot. They pay cartels $6,000 a person to get across, and so the great vast majority of asylum seekers that get released by the Border Patrol go on buses, and that's why McAllen's kind of the center was ground zero for this for the first 2 times, because we have a great bus station, a lot of bus service, and so it's a good thing. And so we have people flying, and what happened is. We were told by Catholic Charities that people were getting turned away because they didn't have picture identification at the airport. And so I thought, well, I know before they did it without it. I couldn't figure what it was. And so out of frustration, I said, well, we'll issue them a city ID card or something like that. That caught a lot of attention, not good attention from Homeland Security, and especially the people that provide security at the airport. And so they got together with Border Patrol, and now they have Border Patrol people at the airport saying, they were released by Border Patrol. They don't need a picture identification. They already have their biometric pictures on file.
Mayor, people are watching this situation unfold from all over the countries, watching what's happening at the border, but you're there, you're seeing it firsthand. You've been in that city for a long time. What do you want people to know most about the need and the concern?
A couple of things. One is, whether it's a crisis or not. It's not a crisis in our city. We're handling it. Number one. Number two, we're recruiting people for our medical school. We're recruiting businesses. We have shoppers from literally all over northern Mexico come here if they could. And so we want people to know we're the 7th safest city in the country. We're not overrun by anybody. One of the reasons we have a strong police. All our neighborhoods have Border Patrol and Customs and state and local police in it. Not that it makes us any different, but we're a very, very safe city. Such
a complicated issue. I appreciate your time sharing with us what your experience there is. I understand you're not going to be seeking re-election, so it will be up to the person who fills your seat to address this in the coming months. But yeah, Mayor Darling, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And one thing I wanted to add that we also discussed, I said, what is your message to lawmakers on both sides of the aisle? Because again, I said he's nonpartisan. Right. He said, I want them to know that you have to start at the root of the problem, which is why these people are coming to the United States. What are they leaving? And can we address that situation in addition to everything else that we're doing? And so that was one of the points that he made as well, because there's a reason the violence, the lives that they're living, the dangers that they face every day that they're coming over here to the United States. And so that is a multi-pronged solution that has to be addressed.